go online today, you see so many relationships, marriages amongst rich people fail. You see a lot of infidelity happen, and a lot of the messaging that gets pushed out there. You see, marriage is so broken, dating so broken. She cheated on this multimillionaire, this billionaire. The average guy doesn't stand a chance. Those stories are abundant. However, I'm excited to talk about this video because this is where so many men get provision wrong. So, law number 5 in the 20 laws of the masculine is provision beyond resources. We hear provider, we're taught it's all about the dollars. He's got to make 6 figures, 7 figures. He's got to buy me this, that, and the other. It's always focused around money. You know, you want to trigger some people, bring up 50-50 in relationships. I remember I did that as an attention get. I wasn't even arguing for 50-50. I just used it to get attention because I knew it would in a Facebook post, and it triggered a lot of people. And that's okay, right? So we can have a conversation about this. But so many men get provision wrong. Are resources a part of it? Yes. But it does not stop there. And honestly, at a certain level where needs are being met, basic needs, all the extra luxuries and stuff that comes with that really don't, there starts to be diminishing returns on that, on how impactful that provision is. I talked to several married couples where the husband makes millions of dollars, and their struggles and their complaints by the women are not much different from the women who date men who make lesser money. Interesting. Because at a certain point, it's not about that. You got to remember, when you're providing and you're dealing with women, it's more emotional than logical. But see, as men, we think like, I'm paying all the bills. I bought the house. I built this business. I'm making all this money. She doesn't have to worry about this and that. She should be doing these things because I pay for everything. Very transactional. And if that is your approach to dating or relationships, it's not going to work out very well, because women need connection. So when you're providing, resources, again, are part of it. However, if you know how to make a woman feel emotionally safe, you provide structure, you provide vision, you provide boundaries, you will have a healthy, long-lasting relationship, or minimum, you're going to attract better quality women into your life than just leaning on money. So many people get that wrong. And a perfect example is Will Smith and Jada. Will said, he's like, I thought I gave her everything. And then we see how she's gone on these talk shows and essentially emasculated this man. She cheated on him. She essentially, many think that she still talks to, the soul of Tupac, right? That should be an example of like, the money just isn't enough. He's not providing those other things. So if you don't provide those other things, yes, your woman will either get it elsewhere or she will leave you to get it elsewhere. That's just how it goes. Women need connection. They need to feel safe. They need structure. They crave those things at a primal level. But if you just think you're just going to buy another bag and she's just going to give you all this intimacy and nurture you and do all these things because you bought her a bag, you took her on, this trip. All right, bro, good luck. Not going to work very well for you. Telling you as a man that's in a healthy relationship, I'm telling you as a man who's talked to other married couples in healthy relationships, I'm telling you as a man that talks to a lot of women, and what they secretly desire and crave is the provision beyond resources, especially now because there's so many women now that are running businesses. They are making more money now. They can take care of themselves. Those are things they can do themselves. So their mindset is like, if I can buy it myself, then what do I need a man for? And that's that whole like independent woman and all that stuff that you see online today. But let that man come who's calm under the chaos, emotionally intelligent, takes the lead, unshakable frame, vision, these things that she doesn't have for herself, that she craves so she can shut her brain off and just be in her feminine flow and essence, how she's naturally wired. Now you see a completely different woman, a completely different energy you experience from her. That's where you experience the loving intimacy. That's where you see her being nurturing to you. That's how it just naturally comes out. I'll share a story, personal story. One of the things about me is I've always, in my adult life, not when I was younger, when I was really shy, but once I really start to study this stuff, I've always done really well with attracting women. And one of the things that they all tell me is how safe I make them feel. I never made six figures before. I'm not a millionaire. None of these things. Matter of fact, some of my best success with women came when I was really struggling, to be honest with you, financially. Me and my current girlfriend now, when she got with me, if she listened to the narrative on the internet, she would have ran away from me faster than Usain Bolt, because I was in the pits. Like, I had lost not one business, but two businesses, 80% of my income. I was rebuilding from scratch. My house was in foreclosure. I was being sued by creditors because I took out some debt for the businesses, and I had the highest credit score at the time. So I took all the risks. So when they collapsed, all that debt fell on me, and I'm being sued. Like, everybody wanted their money, and I lost pretty much everything. Now, despite all that, I built a very, very healthy relationship with a woman who's very pretty and a woman who's capable of attracting men who make a lot of money. Matter of fact, she's used to that. She dated a guy, multimillionaire real estate investor. He was going to buy her a fancy condo in Miami, and this guy, was, mega successful and all that. So she's used to that. But yet she nurtures me. She treats me like a king. Like, if I were to ever share like the messages she sends me, you wouldn't even think that women talk to men like this anymore. Like, the way that she pours into me, the way that she talks so highly of me, it is phenomenal. Like, a relationship so phenomenal because I provide emotional safety. She says that I'm her grounding man. She always talks about how, like, she could get worked up or she starts to feel overwhelmed with things, or, something could be chaotic. The first person she thinks of is me. She finds me. Whether she has to call me or if we're around each other, she comes, finds me, because I settle her down, because I'm so calm, because I have the unshakable frame, going back to law number 2. She feels so safe. And because she feels so safe, she nurtures me like no other. And I provide structure and boundaries. Again, she's a very free spirited, all over the place. She's like a firecracker, pop, 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 all over. That's her personality. And that's okay. I love that about her. I love that she's the free spirit. I love that she lights up rooms and she likes to, travel and be all over the place. That's just her nature. She's very energetic. However, amongst that, it could be very chaotic without any sort of structure. I provide structure, boundaries. I remember recently we were having a talk, and I was telling her, it's like, babe, when I tell you certain things, I'm not trying to control you. It's my role as the protector. Is I can see where something may not serve you, and it's me protecting you. So I'm planting the seed, because I don't tell her what to do, but I'll give my insight on certain things. It's just me protecting you, because I can see where you may get taken advantage of, or where this doesn't serve you, or at least to make you aware so you can make the best decision if this is something you want to pursue, right? As the protector, that's my role in the relationship, right? And that makes her more receptive to when I tell her these things, because it's easy. It's one thing to tell a woman what to do or tell somebody what to do. It could come off as very controlling, very manipulative. But when you come from an energy of like, look, I'm just trying to protect you. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what I see. And you come from a very grounded place, they're more receptive to it and they feel safer with you. And again, they just love on you more, right? Provision beyond resources. I'll share another example in my relationship. This is funny. This is like me and G's third date. And we were at a restaurant. My client owns one of the nicest restaurants in the Chicago area. So I took her to lunch there. We were at the table. And you know how restaurants typically will bring you over, bread for the table. And I remember reaching for the bread and I was going to put some butter on there. She's like, no, babe, here, I got you. Grabs the bread. She butters it for me, puts it on my plate. The rest of that time we were there, if my plate was empty, she would take a piece of bread, butter it, and put it on the plate for me. And I noticed that. Again, it's like our third day. She wasn't even my girlfriend yet. But that little gesture of nurturing, like she made sure without me asking that my plate was never empty. And I remember telling her, thank you for that. And she like freaked out because she didn't realize like she was like doing it. Because again, she's used to the one being spoiled. And it's funny because like her friend had to like calm her down. It was like, he's just saying thank you. He's not expecting you to be like his servant or his slave. But nonetheless, what I'm getting at is she did that without thinking about it. That's what I'm saying. It's in their nature to want to nurture the man that makes her feel seen, the man that makes her feel heard, protected, safe. Then they're in their feminine. They're not thinking. They're just doing what they're wired to do. And in that case, that was her feminine way of making sure I was good at the dinner table. And so many more examples of that. And again, it's not because I'm trying to buy her affection. It's not because I'm buying her love. It's not like it's transactional. Like, hey, if I do this for you, then I expect you to do this for me. It's like, no, I show up a certain way and she feels that and she shows up in a certain way. She responds. And that's the part men don't get. And there's a lot of men that probably give me pushback on this. And that's fine. But I'm telling you, after studying this for so long and experiencing it myself, it truly, truly is what women desire. And I think when more men get this transactional mindset out of their thinking and think, how can I show up with grounded, a regulated central nervous system, being able to control the emotions with vision, with frame, and just be such a grounded man and okay with her emotional waves, how much of a shift you'll see in dating and relationships. However, you got too many men that think that because I pay for this, I better get this. And it may work in the beginning, but it's not going to work long term. And if you don't believe me, look at all the rich men that get cheated on, all the rich men that get left. I'm gonna tell you right now, that woman, she's not leaving that man that makes her feel safe. That woman, she's not leaving that man that's grounded. That woman, she's not leaving that man who provides the boundaries, the structure, the vision for the relationship. She ain't leaving that man. She'll test him, but she's not gonna leave. You still got to make sure you're that guy, that you don't get complacent. But we'll talk about that in another video. So, with that said, be the man that provides beyond the resources. If you want to go deeper on this, again, we got the school community. If you click the link in the description, we go deeper on these topics. We have live Q&As that you could chime into. You could ask about your specific question or your situation. We can help you out. Nonetheless, if you like the video, make sure you subscribe and that you share it with somebody, because somebody needs to hear this message. Till next time, guys. Check it out.